I literally just finished a video on Kris liking the weird drawings. It's not even been 24 hours and now he's being accused of talking to a minor in ways that you shouldn't be. But I'll get into that in a second because a lot of people have already covered that in their videos. I want to talk about how MrBeast might be involved. So a little over a month ago, a guy that goes by the name Prism42 on YouTube made a video talking about Kris Tyson talking to these minors. But it didn't really blow up till like yesterday, 2 days ago, something like that. But once it did start blowing up and everybody was talking about it, one of MrBeast's former crew members that goes by the name Jake the Viking, you probably know who he is. He was in all of MrBeast's videos when he was starting to blow up. But at the time that I'm making this, about 22 hours ago, he posted on Twitter saying that Jimmy knew. Now this doesn't 100% confirm anything, and I'm sure most of you have probably already seen it because a lot of people have talked about this too. What I'm trying to talk about here is a video I found just earlier about somebody talking about it.
I'm outside MrBeast's studio right now. Here's a cornfield. I'll explain that tomorrow. I've just been driving by looking to see, you know, is there an FBI raid going on? What's happening? My name's Dawson. I worked at MrBeast from February to May of this year, 2024. Kris is the tip of the iceberg. And when Jake the Viking says MrBeast knew, yeah, MrBeast knew. I heard many times that Ava, Kris Tyson, is a major liability, but they can't get rid of her because she's already threatened legal action and she knows too much. And when all this information comes out about everything that she knew, everything other people know, I promise you on everything MrBeast is done.
So as you've seen, he said he worked for MrBeast for about 2-3 months or so, and he's also claiming that Jimmy knew the whole time. And then he says that Kris Tyson is just the tip of the iceberg. And if you don't know what that means, I'll try to quickly explain it. But essentially, an iceberg is way bigger than you can actually tell. Apparently, only 10% of an iceberg you can actually see above water, and that other 90% is under the water where we cannot see. So what he is saying here is that all the stuff that we know about Kris Tyson is only 10% of the stuff that's actually going on. Now this could mean anything. I mean, it could mean that all of them take part in EDP activities. I don't know. Or maybe it just means that MrBeast has a factory in his basement where he forces kids to make his chocolate bars. But I don't know. This could mean anything. I'm sure it probably means they're doing something very illegal that we have not found out yet, because he says that once it does surface, then MrBeast is over. Maybe it's also just a big publicity stunt though. Maybe the guy is just lying so he can make a name for himself, or maybe he was one of the kids that were working in the chocolate factory and he got fired. Now he's angry. But no, in all seriousness, I have no clue what this means. I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see if anything comes out regarding this situation. But back on topic about Kris talking to these alleged minors, Jake the Viking had reposted a video that somebody posted on Twitter back in 2019 about Kris talking to a different 14-year-old. And I mean, nothing really crazy is said, but there still is one thing that's definitely a little weird. Now, most of the messages are just Kris calling this underage kid dad and sending him kissy faces, which we've already seen him do before with that Lava GS kid. The thing that's kind of weird is the picture that he pulls up around the beginning of the video. I know it's a little blurry, but this is the best screenshot I could get of it. But before I get into really what is being said here, look at the bottom and see whose name is listed there. Yeah, it says Belle, and everybody's assuming that that is Belle Delphine, and it's because of what is said here in the message. It says, "I don't know if you heard about my bathwater prank and how crazy it's gone. I don't know if it was a prank because usually that means you wouldn't follow through with it. You would just make a joke about it and then call it done. But for those who don't know, back in 2019, this Belle Delphine girl was selling her actual bath water. Like, I'm sure you've heard people joking about that, like, oh, I'm gonna sell my bath water online for $10 million. Well, yeah, no, it's not a joke to her because she really did it and people really bought it.
It's time to get your gamer girl bathwater.
How down bad do you have to be? There's literally dudes on TikTok, I think it was, that would drink like 20 in one sitting. Also, keep in mind that I'm pretty sure just one of those costed $30. So that dude alone spent like $300 on them things. I don't even want to begin to imagine how much she actually made off of those. But back onto the actual topic of what I'm talking about here. Apparently she sold out at the time and she wanted to redo it but make it one huge tub and just sell the whole thing for $20,000. And then proceeds to ask MrBeast if he's interested in doing this, saying that this is the kind of stuff that he does, which I understand a little bit. Like, yeah, he does the big giveaways and stuff, but he doesn't sell bathwater to promote someone's OnlyFans. Unless this is the part of the iceberg that we don't know yet. Someone also found an old YouTube channel that Kris had where she was trying to promote nude pictures of Jeanette McCurdy, the girl from iCarly.
How's it going, you guys? So recently everybody's been hearing about the Jeanette McCurdy leak of her photo. What the story is, she sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out. And she is a very popular Nickelodeon star on the show iCarly, and probably be seen as the pulling of the show. It'll probably be taken off the air. Second off, you'll probably see the photos get taken down at some point tonight, maybe tomorrow, because Nickelodeon has that kind of power. But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that you know, people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it.
Just to be clear, you did hear him, right? He said, I'm not endorsing this, but if you want to go look at it, here you go. Go look at them. That's like me saying, I don't promote using any illegal substances, but I'm just going to leave a whole bag full of them on the counter, so they're there if you want them. Like, this has to be one of the dumbest things I've ever heard anybody say. Like, anyone with common sense knows that he's just saying that to try to make himself look not that bad. And then I seen another thing that people were talking about from an old video that MrBeast made like 2 months ago, and it's called Protect the Yacht and You Keep It. But if you skip through about 50 seconds, you'll see a bunch of men standing there in weird costumes. And now at first glance, you probably don't understand what they are, but they're Shad Man's costumes. And if you don't know who Shad Man is, he's the guy that was drawing them nasty lollipop pictures for Kris. So people are kind of speculating that maybe MrBeast is involved with these weird picture things too, but I don't know. It's just costumes. It might not even be his costumes. They might just be ones that look like it, but they look very similar. But there's also a few things over on Reddit. So MrBeast, he has his own subreddit page over there, and a lot of people are talking about Kris on there, and apparently every single one of them is just getting taken down for no reason. Everybody's suspecting that he's just trying to cover up for Kris, but it could also just be him trying to protect his brain from all the negativity. That's like all the new stuff I've seen though so far, but you guys let me know what you think down in the comments. It's definitely all messy, and Kris needs to come out and say something, like anything at all. But yeah, that's it. I guess I'll see you next time anything else comes out, so peace.